Hi, 7th grade. Today we are going to be solving equations by using the distributive property. That is your first note at the top of your page, distributive property. All right, now to turn on our brains, we're going to do a few warm-up problems of simplifying with the distributive property. So, number one, when I see parentheses, I know that I'm multiplying. I'm multiplying or distributing this number outside of my parentheses to each term inside. First thing I'm going to do is draw my arrows. So I'm on number one. You're number one on your page as well. So I'm drawing my arrows from 4 to x and then 4 to 7. When I'm distributing, I'm multiplying. 4 times x is just 4x. 4 times 7, positive 4 times positive 7 is just positive 28. Cool. That's the first example we're doing with just simplifying by distributing, and then we'll get into solving equations with the distributive property. Number two, this one looks a little bit different because we have two negative numbers. First thing, I'm going to draw my arrows. Distributing -3 to x, and then -3 inside of my parentheses. -3 times x is just -3x. Now, -3 times -3, a negative times a negative is always a positive. Positive, and then 3 times 3 is just 9. All right, so everything we just practiced here, we're going to be using on the following examples that we are going to do together. So, example number 3 on your worksheet. 3 times 2x plus 1 is equal to 21. So now we have an equal sign, which means we need to solve for our variable. First thing I always do is undo my parentheses. So I want to distribute the number outside of my parentheses to each term inside. I'm just simplifying right now, and then I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to draw my arrows. 3 times 2x. That's just 6x. Plus positive 3 times positive 1. Just positive 3. So now I've simplified this and I brought it down. I also need to bring down my equal sign and the number after the equal sign. So it's equal to 21. Okay, so now I'm solving for x, and this is just a two-step equation, which is what we worked on yesterday in class. Now, I see addition. I'm going to undo it. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. 3 and -3 cancel out. So I'm left with 6x is equal to 18, because 21 minus 3 is just 18. So now I've got 6x is equal to 18. This is just a one-step equation now. Anytime I see a number right next to a variable, I know it's multiplication. So I need to undo it. I need to do the inverse operation of multiplication, which is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 18 divided by 6 is 3, because 3 times 6 is 18. And this is our answer for example 3, x equals 3. So now go ahead and pause the video. You're going to do number 4 by yourself. When you have finished it, press play, and then you'll check your answer with mine. We'll do it together. Cool. All right, so example number 4. We've got 2 times x plus 4 is equal to 12. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to undo my parentheses. So I need to distribute this number outside of my parentheses to each term inside. I'm going to draw my arrows. 2 times x, 2x. Positive 2 times positive 4, just positive 8. So now I've undone my parentheses, and now I need to bring down my equal sign and the number after my equal sign, because this is an equation that I'm solving for. Now this is my two-step equation. I see positive 8 on the same side of my variable, so I want to undo it. Subtract 8 from both sides. 2x is equal to 12 minus 8 is 4. Divide both sides by 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2. And x is equal to 2, because 4 divided by 2 is just 2. Give yourself a check if you got that on your own. If not, just make sure you find your mistake and correct it. All right, we're moving on to some harder examples. Number 5, we have -7 times x minus 1 is equal to -21. First thing I'm always going to do when I see those parentheses, I need to simplify this side of my equation first by using the distributive property. Draw my arrows. I'm distributing -7. -7 times x, -7x. Now, -7 times -1, this is just like example 2 we did in the beginning of this video. Negative times a negative is a positive. 7 times 1 is 7. Bring down my equal sign and the number after my equal sign. So I have -7x plus 7 is equal to -21. I see addition, I need to do the opposite. Subtract 7. What I do to one side, I do to the other. So now I have -7x is equal to -21 minus 7. This is the same thing as -21 plus -7. I have the same sign, so I'm just adding my numbers together. 28. And because both of my numbers are negative, it means my answer has to be negative as well. This is true when I'm adding two negative integers. So I have -28, -7x is equal to -28. Divide both sides by -7. X is equal to a negative divided by a negative. Remember our rules for multiplication and division. Two negatives make a positive. So my answer is going to be positive. And 28 divided by 7 is positive 4. Make sure that your paper looks like my board and you have all these notes in, because you are going to now independently solve problem number 6. Press pause when you're ready to do that, and then play when you've finished, and you can check your answer with mine. Okay. So example number 6, which you have done on your own, and now you're just checking with me. -2x minus 4 is equal to 18. I distribute my -2 to each term inside my parentheses. -2 times x is -2x. Now, -2 times -4, negative times negative is a positive. 2 times 4 is 8. Is equal to, I'm bringing down my equal sign and bringing down this number after my equal sign. All right, now this is a two-step equation that we're really good at solving now. So I have my variable on this side, my equal sign. I need to get rid of this constant, positive 8, so I can get x on its own. I'm going to undo addition by doing the opposite, which is subtraction. Minus 8. 8 minus 8 is just 0, so those cancel out. So now I'm left with -2x is equal to 18 minus 8, 10. Now this is a one-step equation. I want to get x on its own, so I divide both sides by -2. Because -2 divided by -2 is just 1. I want to know what 1x is equal to. What I do to one side, I do to the other. So x is equal to -5, because a positive divided by a negative has to be negative. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Cool. Take the next 5 seconds. Just make sure that you checked your answer. If you made a mistake, make sure you figured out your mistake, because you're about to do some independent practice on your own. The very last example we were doing before that, this is a problem identical to what we're seeing on our MLQ tomorrow, and it is a little bit challenging, but I'm going to go over it. So, number 7, we have 1/2 4x plus 6 is equal to 23. Now, the only thing that's different about this problem is we have a fraction outside of our parentheses. I'm going to distribute that fraction. Same thing. I want to undo my parentheses. Now, 1/2 times 4. This is the same thing as 1 times 4 over 1. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 divided by 2, when I see a fraction bar, it's the same thing as division. 4 divided by 2 is 2x. 2x. Or sorry, just 2. Oh yeah, no, 2x because we have an x up here in our parentheses. So we've got 2x plus, and then 1/2 times 6 over 1. The same thing as 6 over 2, right? Multiplying fractions, we just multiply our numerators and our denominators. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Bring down our equal sign is equal to 23. Make sure you got all of that. I know it's a lot of steps. Thank you for sticking with me. All this is super important. You will be taking an exit ticket on this at the end of class too. So now this is a 2-step equation. Subtract 3. 2x is equal to 20. Divide both sides by 2. This is just a 1-step equation. And x is equal to 10. All right, so that's the last example I'm going to do with you. You're going to now flip over your worksheet. The back page is an independent practice. When you finish this, you can check your answers with the answer key that's going to be under your bin. If you don't have a bin, it's just going to be in between those 2 desks you share with your partner. You're going to check your answers. When you have finished and checked everything, you will grab an answer key from the front of the room by right on the whiteboard, okay, that's right in front of you. And that's going to be your exit ticket for today. All right.